Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Laura Foster, and I couldn't be more excited to be part of Move Your Body May. I hope that you've been joining me throughout the entire month of May, but if not, welcome. I am here Mondays and Fridays, typically live, to do a 30-minute yoga practice. If you are more interested in doing an intermediate practice, or you're an adventurous beginner and you want to boot it up a little bit, I know that WildBrain has also posted my intermediate versions. So you take what you like. Maybe one day you want to do the 30-minute quick practice. Maybe you want to ramp it up, whichever way you would like. I think it's wonderful. A couple options, of course, that I'm always going to say is it's nice to have a yoga mat. If you don't, find some place that you can practice in your bare feet. It's always nice to have a folded blanket or something that you can place underneath your knees if you're uncomfortable, or cover yourself up with, or even place underneath your pelvis when you're sitting up to do stretches to help get out of your lower back, tilting your pelvis forward. If you have the luxury of yoga blocks, fantastic, please have them close by. But if you don't, we can improvise. Always good to have two things of equal height, like two books, or perhaps two tin cans, or anything that allows you to take the ground up to you so that you can bend your knees a little bit and take the pressure out of your lower back. I can't give you specifics to you while you're practicing, of course, because I'm not there with you in your home. However, I want you to just be mindful of listening to what you need at all times. I think that's so important. The theme of today's practice is a gratitude practice. And I can't think of a time in my life where that seems more important than right now. So please practice self-compassion and gratitude. Self-compassion, yeah, I'm going to say that again, and gratitude every single day. I think it's so virtually important. Okay, couple of things that I just wanted to say. WildBrain has asked me to remind you that there's no chat in the live platform, but you can go on the left-hand panel under Teams. You'll see the subset of WildBrain Global, and then Move Your Body May, and you can leave any comments or questions there about the session, feedback to the rest of the team or to myself, that we'll be able to follow up with. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Find a place. Let's start on our back today. Settling onto your back, two options. Either lie all the way back with your feet nice and wide and your knees just knocking in. Bend your elbows, palms to your belly. Or if you're more comfortable, walking your feet all the way out to each edge of your mat into what we call Shavasana. Let your feet fall to the side, slight tuck of your shoulder blades, spin open your arms, palms to the ceiling. And wherever you are, close your eyes. Soften all the muscles of the face. Just noticing what you're noticing. Maybe you feel open and relaxed, and maybe you don't. And that's okay. You don't try and change it. Just notice it. So when you're ready, just start to move your fingertips and your toes, circling your wrists around, drawing your legs together, pressing out through your toes. Option to interlace your fingers, draw them up over top of your head. One long line for your fingers to your toes, press out through your toes, reach up with your fingertips. Let your ribs come up towards the sky, inhaling deeply and exhaling through your mouth, letting it all go. Bending both your knees. Centering down, bringing your hands down and reaching forward, taking a hold gently of the fronts of each one of your knees. Near gentle stretch, nothing too intense, and just let your body rock from side to side. Bring your knees nice and wide, drawing your kneecaps towards your armpits. Keeping your lower back on the ground, tailbone lengthening towards the front of your mat. And holding onto your right knee, hold onto the front of it and extend your left leg all the way out to the front of your mat. Lengthen it nice and long, and then exhale, take this right knee, let it come all the way across your body towards the ground on the left-hand side. Reach your right arm out to the side, staying below shoulder height, and feeling the stretch all the way down your right side ribs. Stretching from your right shoulder all the way to your right hip. Option to keep yourself looking at the ceiling or spinning your gaze any amount to the right. Close your eyes. Feel the expansion all the way down the right side body. One more breath in through your nose, exhaling through your nose. And on your next inhale, drawing your body back up to the center. Bend your left knee, place the sole on the ground, and extend your right leg all the way up to the sky. No need to straighten your leg. If you feel a ton of tension down the back of your leg, bend your knee and try and keep your heel above your hip. So if you're really tight, see if you can bend your knee even more and draw it up. Option to bring your hands to the back of your thigh. Press your thigh into your hands into your thigh, and see if you can press your heel even closer towards the sky. Shoulders and neck, head on the ground. And then press your toes up to the sky, pointing them and then extending them, bringing them towards your face. Back and forth. Feeling the stretch all the way down the back of your calf, and then all the way down the front of your foot. Starting to draw circles with your ankle in one direction. And after a couple, pause, go back the other way. And then release your leg, release your ankle to the top of your left thigh. And either option to stay right here, using your right hand to gently draw your right knee away, pelvis on the ground, for your right foot flexed, engaged, or reach through with your arms between your leg, holding onto the back of your left thigh and drawing your left knee towards your chest in what we call a figure 4 position. Head and neck are relaxed. Inhaling for length, exhaling, drawing your left knee in a little bit closer. Option to use your right elbow to press it away a bit. Still feel your tailbone lengthening to the front of your mat. One more deep breath in. Release it out. And then let go. Release your left foot back down to the ground. And then place your right leg down, drawing both knees back up to your chest. Wrap your arms around the front of your shins. Hold on to the front of your shins. Go nice and wide and back to where we started. Releasing from side to side. If that's what feels comfortable. Taking your body to stillness. Holding onto your left knee, lengthen your right leg all the way out, directly down from your hip. Press it all the way into the ground. And then releasing your right knee folded, or your left knee, all the way across your body to the right-hand side. So let your right knee release all the way across. And do your best to bring your left shoulder towards the ground, feeling the stretch all the way down the left side ribs. Lengthen your left arm out to the side. An option to keep your gaze to the ceiling, or even take a look to the left. Let it feel good. If you feel intensity, pain, pinching, burning, any and all of those adjectives, please release the stretch or somehow modify it to meet where your body's at. Breathe deeply into your left side ribs, feeling your ribs rise and fall with your breath. On your next inhale, bringing it all the way back to center, Bend your right knee, bring the sole on the ground, and then extend your left leg all the way up. So bend your left knee, let it be juicy. See if you can step your foot onto the sky, onto the ceiling, and then take your hands and take them behind your thigh, and press your thigh into your hands into your thigh. Step your foot towards the ceiling, making sure your head and neck are resting nicely on the ground. Plugging that left hip into your left femur, into your hip joint. One more deep breath in. And now starting to press your toe to the ceiling and then draw it towards your face, back and forth at your own pace. It's normal to feel that strength and the tension down the back of your leg and down the front of the foot, and then release it and draw circles in one direction. Pause and reverse. Release the stretch, place your left ankle on top of your right thigh, and either gently press your left knee away or reach through, holding on to the back of your right thigh, inhaling and then exhaling, bringing your right knee towards your chest. Flex both your feet and gently draw your left knee away with your left elbow. Feel the stretch all the way down the left hip, the outer left thigh, maybe even to the left glute muscles of your pelvis. Soften your face. And whenever you feel that tightness, see if you can allow your breath to go there. One more deep breath in. One more exhale out through your nose. Releasing your legs back down to the mat. Placing your feet hip distance apart, walk your feet in so that you can almost reach down and get them. They're very close to your sitting bones. Knees are drawn forward directly from your hips. Place your hands next to your body, palms down, coming into a bridge, modifying this as you need. Inhaling, exhaling, pressing into your feet, lifting your pelvis up towards the sky. Look straight ahead. Soon as you get up, exhale, rolling all the way down one vertebrae at a time. Soon as your pelvis touches the ground, inhaling deeply. As you exhale, press into your feet, lifting your hips all the way up. Option to bring both arms overhead as you go. Drawing your arms all the way across, up over your head. And then exhale, rolling all the way down, drawing your arms all the way back down beside your body. Inhale, exhale, press and lift, waving up. Hands are optional, maybe going a little higher as you go. Exhaling, coming all the way down. Two more. Press down, lift up. Knees are tracking forward to the hips. Breathing deeply. Exhale all the way down. Last time. Press down, lift up. Finding space. Exhale all the way back down, drawing both your knees in, maybe going in a little bit deeper. So reaching your hands around any amount more, pressing in, option to raise your forehead and your chin towards your knees, squeezing in, still lengthening your tailbone to the front of the room. Exhale, release your head back, holding both your knees in. Holding your right knee, pressing out through your left foot. Option to hover it or take it all the way down to the ground. Flex both your feet, either keeping your head and neck on the ground and shoulders, or rising up, holding onto your right knee, feeling the strength of your abdomen. One long line, engaging. Feel the shake. We're going to switch legs. So you're going to bend your left knee, press out through the right heel, lengthen all the way down the other side. And swap. Press out, squeeze in. If it's too much on your head and neck, release your head and neck to the ground. Keep going, using your abdomen, following your breath, and switch. For 6, You got it. For 5, if you have your head up, hold it a little bit more. For 4, for 3, for 2, for 1, last one, hold it, then bring both your knees in, release your head and neck back, stretch your arms across, and rock from side to side. Amazing. Good job. I know it's not easy to do abdominal work when you're the only one in the room. All right, releasing your feet down, rolling onto your side and pressing your body up, coming into tabletop position. Coming into tabletop, making sure your hands are nice and wide. This might be an option for you to place a blanket underneath your knees if you find it uncomfortable. Knees are hip distance apart. Press the top of your feet into the ground. Press into your hands. All 10 fingers are spread apart. All your knuckles are nice in contact with the ground and your wrists are directly underneath your shoulders. Inhale, dropping your pelvis down, looking forward, broadening to the collarbone, lifting your crown. Exhale, press into your hands, belly button to spine, chin to chest. Feel the opening through your shoulder blades. Inhale, dropping your pelvis down, rising with your gaze, looking forward, broadening through your collarbone. Exhale, press down, lift up. Keep going back and forth at your own pace, cat and cow. Dropping your pelvis, lifting your gaze and on your inhale, exhale, press down, belly button to spine. Feel every one of your vertebrae. Inhale, back up. 2 more rotations. Last one. Coming into neutral position, side bending, take a peek over your right shoulder, looking all the way past your right hip to your right foot. Feeling the stretch down the left-hand side of the body. Inhaling to neutral, exhaling, taking a peek over your left shoulder, feeling the stretch. Coming back to neutral, taking your knees nice and wide, coming into a child's pose, feet together, and releasing your pelvis all the way back. Keeping your hands out in front of you, walking your hands out, and releasing your head between your biceps, or releasing it all the way down to the ground, whatever feels comfortable for you. This is child's pose. We're going to stay here for 2 breaths. This is a position that you can come to at any point in your yoga practice, and such a wonderful pose for you to come to at any time in your day. Super restorative. If it's uncomfortable for you, modify it for how your body feels. All right? Not coming out of child's pose, but just lifting your head, looking forward, and walking your hands up onto your fingertips. We're going to take a trip to the right. So you're going to walk your hands as far as you can over to the right, reaching a little bit further forward with your left hand, and then dropping your left sitting bone into your left heel. Release your head towards the mat, feeling the stretch amplify down the left-hand side of the body. Moving your breath all the way into those side ribs. One more breath in, one more exhale. Raising your head up and then walking your hands back to neutral, and then taking a trip to the left-hand side. This time, your right arm goes a little further forward. Sit your right sitting bone down onto your right heel and release your head down any amount. Purposely send your breath into the right-hand side of your rib cage, all the way from your armpit, all the way down to your right hip. One more deep breath in through your nose, exhaling through your nose. Calm and nice, calm, steady breath. Perfect. Walking your hands back to the center, placing your hands up, coming up to sit on your heels. I want you to spin your hands around. So actually, you probably want to come up a little bit. Going into a wrist stretch. Starting with your fingertips forward, just walking your hands out to the side and then walking them back so your fingertips are facing your knees. The creases of your wrists are still parallel with the front edge of your mat. All your fingers are spread apart nice and wide. You're going to sit back, keeping your palms and your hands in contact with the ground, feeling the stretch all the way down the front of your forearms. See if you can get all the knuckles of your fingers down. No pressure into your head and neck. Release the stretch when you're ready, otherwise 2 more breaths. Such a great antidote to being on your computer. So much of our wrist tension and our hand pain and even numbness and tingling into our hands can come from having really tight, taut forearms. Releasing the stretch, releasing your arms, sitting back all the way onto your heels if that's possible, and just giving your wrists a little stretch, or a little shake rather. Hold onto your right wrist with your left hand, making circles with your right hand, pausing, coming back the other way, and then holding onto your left wrist, circling it around, releasing, coming all the way back. Give another little shake. If this is comfortable for you, stay here a little bit longer. Otherwise, just switch positions, inhaling your arms up on either side, looking up, exhaling, hands all the way to heart center. Pressing down into your legs, coming up into camel position. So option is, of course, to place a blanket underneath your knees. Looking down, making sure your knees are hip distance apart, and making sure that you're not in this position, but you're working hard to bring your hips in alignment. Then your shoulders are in alignment with your hips, in alignment with your knees. Place the tops of your feet firmly into the ground. Now walking your hands back behind you, placing your palms on your back body. So it's almost like you're placing your hands in your back pockets, but you're going to put your fingertips up your spine. So you're like this. If that's not available to you, because you can't spin your shoulders open, then simply place them this way and do your best to draw your shoulder blades back behind you. But if you can, go this way, go this way. You're going to inhale for length. And you're going to exhale, gently pressing your palms into your pelvis, pressing your pelvis forward, rising your chest to the sky, and looking up towards the ceiling if that feels okay in your neck. Engaging your abdomen, breathing deeply. Whenever you're ready, you can come out of it. Otherwise, one more deep breath in, one more exhale, rising back up, releasing your hands to the front and slowly sitting your hips back to your heels and resting your hands on your lap. Extensions are not easy. We spend much of our life in forward flexion. We do this a lot, whether it's because we have babies or we're on computers, or just because so much of our life is in the front body that it's such good work to learn how to create extension. It's going to keep your spine and your nervous system healthy as you age and take away a lot of the pressure. Let's do one more set. So pressing into your knees, rise back up. If it feels better for you, you can tuck your toes. Sometimes that feels better for people. Bringing your hands back to the back of your pelvis, spin your elbows back so the front of your shoulders are opening. Sitting up nice and tall, inhaling for length, exhaling, pressing your palms into the back of your pelvis, drawing your pelvis forward, lifting your chest to the sky. Raise your gaze any amount. Breathing deep. One more breath in, one more exhale. And on your next inhale, rising up, doing it again, releasing, untucking your toes if they're tucked and sitting back all the way back. Just taking a moment, letting your lower back just settle. This time, walking your hands forward, we're going to go into what we call pigeon pose. So pigeon pose is on your front and we're lying on our knees, stretching on our pelvis. If you're already familiar and you're like, no, that doesn't feel good on my knees, you're gonna lie on your back and go into figure 4 like we did already. But I'm gonna open up your hips today and make it feel really good. So I want you to set your hands up because we're gonna go into a downward facing dog. So placing your hands underneath your shoulders like we already did, walk your knees back just a bit, tuck your toes, and on your next exhale, lift your knees up, bend your knees and press back. Press into your hands, looking forward, making sure your hands are shoulder distance apart. Releasing your head between the biceps, your upper arms. Bend your knees. Lengthening your heels towards the ground, but also raising your sitting bones towards the sky. Breathing deeply into your back body and having the option of walking your dog, which just means you're going to release your right heel to the ground with a straight leg, bend your left knee, feeling the stretch all the way down the right calf and the right thigh, and then switching. Lengthening your left heel towards the ground, straightening your left leg, bending your right knee. It's such good exercise and good practice to put weight into our wrist, to build the strength of our forearms and our forebody. And swap. Go back and forth at your own pace. Still in your downward dog, take both of your heels towards the ground, bend your knees, raise your pelvis to the sky. When you're ready, step into your left foot, inhale your right leg up and back, pressing out through the heel, squaring your hips to the ground. And then you're going to exhale, bring your right knee through, releasing it to your right wrist. Walking your left leg back, untuck your toes, placing it down. So squaring your hips to the front of the mat. So this is what I was talking about. If this is uncomfortable for you and you're like, there's no way I'm going to be in this position, then I want you to roll onto your back, place your right ankle on top of your left thigh, and then draw your left knee in towards your chest like we did earlier. Otherwise, sit up nice and tall. Walk your hands back so that you're broad through your chest. Inhaling, nice length. Exhaling, starting to hinge forward. So either staying on your hands or walking down onto your forearms. And if you have the space, you can go all the way down, all the way onto your chest. You can use blocks under your arms, or you can even rest your forehead on a block or a book. If your right pelvis feels like it doesn't have enough support, it often feels nice to put a book or something underneath that right side. Breathing deeply into the back of your pelvis. Two more breaths. If you have a prop there, just remove the prop. Pressing into your hands, walking the back, walk your right knee in a little bit, tuck your left toes under, press into your hands, lift up, and bring your right leg back into downward facing dog. Walk your dog, and if you're in figure four position, simply unwind your legs, bend your knees, take your feet wide, and let your knees knock in. Just take a moment to rest. If you're in downward facing dog, be in your downward facing dog. So press into your hands, lift your pelvis to the sky, find the strength. We're only here for 30 seconds, maybe not even. So give your body the opportunity to find your strength. Even if you don't even feel like you have it, I guarantee we all have strength. Press down into your right foot, inhale your left leg up and back. Press out through the heel, press into both hands equally. One more deep breath in, sliding forward, bend your left knee, bring it all the way up to your left wrist. Untuck your right toes, walk your leg back a bit, bring the top of your foot to the mat. One thing I forgot to mention is just take a look down and make sure your left knee is outside of your hip. So it shouldn't be straight forward, walk it out a bit. No need to bring your shin forward. You find where it's comfortable. So walking your hands back, sitting up nice and tall. Find your length. When you're ready, walking your arms forward and releasing all the way down. And if you're in figure four on your back, placing your left ankle on top of your right thigh, reaching through and drawing your right thigh towards your chest. Staying with the motion, keeping your head in the game. Just being where you are. I know this is a big stretch for a lot of us. But even though it might create discomfort in the moment, your body thanks you for giving it the attention. This most definitely follows you wherever you go all day long, even if you're not mindful of it. And it's such a gift to give the body the opportunity to release tension instead of holding on to it. When you're ready, walking your hands back up, tucking your toes, bring your hands in, bringing your left knee in a little bit. So pressing into your hands, lifting your right knee up, pressing up, reaching up, and bringing your left leg back into downward facing dog. If you're in figure 4, unwinding it all, taking your feet wide, knees knocking in, pressing down. This time looking forward. I'm going to get you to walk your feet all the way through, bending your knees and coming to sit. We're going to meet everybody else who's already back on your back. And you're going to roll down, working on your abdomen, keeping your feet nice and strong to the ground. Feet are hip distance apart, knees are in a line. Broaden through your chest. Option, take your hands out to the side. And you're going to slowly and deliberately roll down one vertebrae at a time. For 5, 4, 3, for 2, and for 1. And whoever's down here, bring both your knees up to your chest. Give it a squeeze and rock from side to side. Coming into happy baby, option to bring your hands between your knees and then reach through and take hold of the outside edge of both your feet. Bend your knees to 90 degrees, flex your feet. Take your feet nice and wide. Your knees are drawing into your armpits. Press your hands into your feet into your hands, and draw your feet down, keeping your tailbone lengthening towards the front of the room. Broaden through your collarbones, breathing nice and deep. Option to rock from side to side. One of the nicest stretches for your lower back if your body likes it, but if your body doesn't like it, then go ahead and just bring both your knees into your chest and do what feels comfortable for you. So your lower back should be on the ground. Your tailbone's lengthening towards the front of your mat. One more deep breath in and out. Releasing your feet. Bring your knees back to your chest and then releasing both your feet down. All right, scooching your body just a little bit to the right-hand side. Bring your knees up, both of them, and then release them all the way off to the left-hand side. So stacking your knee one on top of the other, opening your upper body up so that your right shoulder is coming towards the ground. Option to bring your right hand off to the right-hand side and look up towards the sky, or simply spin your gaze a bit to the right-hand side. Rest both your left hand on top of both your knees and breathe deep all the way into the space between your right hip and your right shoulder. Close your eyes. Release your hands. Inhale both your knees back up to the center. Place your feet down. Recenter yourself and then scoot your hips just a tad to the right, to the left. Draw your knees in and then stacking your knees, release both your knees to the right-hand side. Flex your feet and then curl back your left shoulder as close as you can to the ground, drawing your left arm out to the side and releasing your right hand to the top part of your stacked knees. Keeping your gaze at the center, or maybe even looking a bit to your left-hand side. Inhaling fully and exhaling through your nose. Feeling the stretch all the way down the left shoulder, the left rib cage, the front of the left hip. Breathing deep, one more last breath in, One more exhale through your nose. And on your next inhale, draw both your knees back up to center, releasing them down, and then walking your feet out. Two options for our final resting pose. You can take your feet nice and wide, drawing your knees in towards one another, and then opening your shoulders, tucking your shoulder blades a little bit under your back body, palms to the ceiling. Or if you have the space and your lower back feels good, you can walk your heels out. Take your right heel to the edge of the right side of your mat, and the left one all the way up to the left, taking up lots of space like a starfish. Releasing your toes to the outside edges, taking all the effort away. Wherever you are, close your eyes. Option to stay where you are for as long as you'd like. Or when you're ready, bend your knees, either roll onto your right side or your left side, placing your elbow underneath your head, taking a moment to rest. When you're ready, pressing into your hand, lifting yourself back up to come to sit in a nice, easy seat position. Keep your eyes closed, resting your hands in your lap. Finding your sitting bones, rooting down, reaching up through your crown. Bringing your arms to either side, flipping your palms to the ceiling, inhaling, drawing your palms up over your head, bringing your palms together. Lift your gaze any amount. Exhale, bring your hands through heart center. Interlace your palms and place them over top of your chest. Release your elbows down. Sit up nice and tall. Reminding yourself of who you are. Showing gratitude for what you have and so much self-compassion. Release your hands down to either knee, bow your head. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Whether you are watching this in real time or you're coming back to this to practice on your own time, I appreciate having you here. If you have any comments or questions or concerns or feedback that you want to give, please give them in the comment section on the left-hand panel that I talked about before. And I look forward to seeing you next Monday for a live class. Have an amazing day.